Hey everybody, I'm Alice Blue, and I have some really exciting patch notes for you today. Before we get into that though, I want to remind everybody that we are building a collaborative wiki, and we would absolutely love your help. You want to come contribute? I will have the link here somewhere. Jump on there, sign up, verify your email, and start contributing to the wiki. And if you aren't really interested in that, but you still want to help out, you can hit me up on Discord and I will shoot you an invite to the Embers After Dark server, which is where we have a whole category for wiki things where you can post screenshots and information that other people can use to put up on the wiki. That would also be very helpful. Anyways, let's get into those patch notes and see what has been accomplished in the last week and a half, 2 weeks since the last patch. Also, if I sound kind of weird, it's just because I'm really stuffed up. Sorry about that. Anyways, so these are the patch notes for November 29th. What's new? This week brings a new higher level zone, chat item linking, a handful of new Ashen variants, and a few quality of life improvements. While our server memory issues are still ongoing, I'm happy to report that the servers have remained extremely stable. We have not encountered a single server crash since reverting the memory leak fixes from a few weeks back. We do, however, have to cycle zones out periodically to keep their memory footprint down. Thank you for your patience while we continue working on this. New memory is on its way, and we should have it within a few weeks, which will reduce the frequency in which we ask you to swap instances. Bug fixes and improvements. Tech. Fixed some culling exceptions. A few players have been having issues with invalid guild ranks, which was preventing them from using many guild actions, such as speaking in guild chat. These players will now have their guild ranks reset to the lowest guild rank on login. Improved logging has been added to help us suss out the root cause if it continues. Environment and art. Added colliders to a room that was missing them in the Aquifer Undercroft. Closed off some areas of the Red Shore zone that were underutilized and underpopulated. This will allow us to increase the mob density outside of these regions in the coming weeks and reduces navigation complexity for NPCs. If your character was camped out in Red Shore, they have been moved to a safe spot. UI. Your bag indicator will now only be shown when you are in the proper region. Given that many of our dungeons share the same server scene, which means that they are the same executable and exist in the same space, but are not physically connected, it is important that we do not mislead you into thinking your bag is accessible if you are in the wrong dungeon. As an example, if your bag is on level 2 of the Undercroft, then the backpack indicator will not show when you are on level 1 or 3. Design. Rearranged active defense priorities. Server now checks in this order: parry, then block, then avoid. Enable line of sight checks for social aggro in the Meadowlands Wolf Cave. New dark water mobs added to the Aquifer Undercroft. Oh, dark water, huh? I still haven't been in the Undercroft. Added mid-tier skinning to elks and ravens. Raven feathers usable as a fletching source. Thank goodness. Holy shit, that makes me so happy. Elk skinning for new noble carcass. Dropped recipes added for noble meat, bones, and leather. Elk skinning for new elk leaves. Dropped recipes added for tea leaves and tea. Fixed issue with Night Hunter using the wrong loot table. So you mean that level 20 earring I got off of it wasn't supposed to be there? You don't say. New large roaming mobs added to most zones. These are very big and very dangerous. Ooh, scary. New visual effects added to Halt, work in progress. Not a single one of you can use the excuse that you didn't know it was halted now. Okay? Okay, got it? Pay attention. Increased higher level damage values for the following abilities: Bleeding Strike, Venom Strike, Quillback Spines, Viper Toxins, Perforate, and Rip. I got a buff. I got a buff. New stuff. Item linking. You can now send item links in chat. With your chat input active, you can shift left click on an item to insert the chat link to that item. This also works on abilities, roles, specializations, and crafting recipes within the crafting UI. However, this does not work on your action bar. Okay, this right here, one of the biggest quality of life improvements we have ever seen. This is fucking incredible. Okay, I was expecting, basic chat linking, something that's in your bag, piece of gear, you just link it. But no, we got more than that. We can link literally anything as long as it's in our bag or our journal, skills menu, whatever. Can't be on the action bar or in your pouches. But I mean, linking everything, you can even link the preview item from the crafting UI. So you can link people things before you hit that craft button so they can actually see what it is. That's fucking amazing, dude. Mind-blowing. Hats off, man. Mad props to the developer that wrote that fucking code. Amazing. Thank you. Redshore Ridge added a new level 33 plus zone called Redshore Ridge, located in the northeastern part of Redshore. The ridge has been deserted by both the folk of New Haven and the exiles of Redshore. What hasn't been reclaimed by nature has been reclaimed by the aggressive Snatch Scale tribe. This zone does not yet have map discoveries. An aggressive Snatch Scale tribe, okay? Let's look at these pictures. Very misty. Very misty indeed. Is that a mandrake? These little Snatch Scale dudes. Look at that elk. Does that not look freaking awesome? Was that a raccoon? Wolf Ashen? Okay, I know I'm getting ahead of ourselves. Dude, look at that crocodile. Oh my goodness. And that bear. Woo! Rats too. That's amazing. Amazing. New Ashen variants for doe, stag, small bear, raccoon, rat, crocodile, and wolf have been added to the game. They look so good. I love it. No doubt they're gonna kick my ass. Works in progress. We're actually gonna go read this thread here in just a minute. Patch size ongoing. We are working on migrating our scenes to a new loading system that will reduce the overall size of patches. At the moment, the scenes are all lumped together into a large 3 GB file. Anytime the data within this file changes, it must be re-downloaded, even if those changes are small. By breaking our data up into smaller chunks, those downloads will ideally be minimized to smaller individual files moving forward. The end result will be saving us bandwidth and money, and saving you download time on patch day. The tech required to do this loading has been implemented. The work remaining is breaking up the scenes into individual files along with creating the shared bundles that contain assets used by multiple scenes. So for everybody that's been having issues with the patching, they are on it. They're working on it. Recently released and upcoming zones. following table does not include all in-progress zones, only the ones in our most immediate future. Red Shore Ridge, it says it hasn't been done. He just forgot to update it. Red Shore Ridge is in, as we just saw up there. So here you can see all the things that they have completed so far. Remember, we launched on October 15th. Okay, so this was added 5 days later, 5 days later, so on and so forth. So you can see that things have been coming. Content has been being added very regularly. So whenever you hear people saying, oh, they need to add more content, blah, 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 they are. And they have. Calm down. Looks like next up is going to be one of these guys, the Red Shore Freehold, Red Shore Dungeon, Dryfoot Fortress, or the Gorge. Honestly, I really hope it's the Gorge because I have been dying to see that zone. Known issues. A recent change was supposed to make all Ember Drifts available at all times. This seems to not always be occurring. Their spawn system was not designed to operate this way, so some tech changes need to happen to iron this out so that they have a 100% uptime. Occasionally, a loot roll may be skipped entirely and a carcass will be given. When this happens, please try to provide any relevant details, as we are still trying to track this one down. So, what were you killing? Where were you killing it? How many people were in your group? Were you doing something immediately before that, like looting a different corpse? Were you in your bag? Were you chatting? What exactly was happening? Even the tiniest detail can be the answer. Not all Ember Rings and or points of interest are proper map discoveries. Deconstructing crafted items returns junk 100% of the time. Not all clothing and armor has visuals. Dragging a group nameplate in the group window will sometimes set the wrong pivot point for the group window and the whole thing will drag a bit weird. Usually you have to relog. Sometimes you have to go so far as to reboot your entire computer. Usually just relogging or zoning fixes it, in my experience. But that being said, you may need to get creative and definitely report it whenever it happens, just to be safe, you know. Typing chat text may occasionally become invisible. Unfocus your chat window and try again a few times. Typically resolves this. Sometimes when you respawn, you don't end up at the proper Ember Ring. If this happens, please report the position where you died via the report command. So when you get back to the place where you died, you need to report that that's where you died, and you also need to add in where you respawned. In some cases, you respawn far away because you have not discovered the nearest hollow, so that definitely check your map, you know, make sure that that's not the case before you report this. But if you know 100% for sure that that messed up for you and you spawned somewhere you should not have spawned, definitely report it from the location where you died. Mac OS, zooming the camera while holding the right mouse button can cause your chat window to scroll. This is not intended. At some camera angles, the sun may go dark. This should not happen frequently, but it is reproducible in some locations. Investigating a fix. Okay, so this is the works in progress thread, and I have actually made like 6 videos for this, but I always think, you know, oh, I'll edit it tomorrow, whatever, and then I completely forget by the next day, so it's usually really late by the time I'm done recording and editing the first video or whatever. And anyways, the point is I've recorded the video a bunch of times, but I never get around to editing and posting it. So this week we are doing it with the patch notes. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. Below, you will find a comprehensive list of things in active development. This serves as a rough roadmap for what we are working on or what we will be working on in the near future. These items are in various stages, including early design, awaiting art passes, awaiting implementation, etc. They're in no particular order and may change between now and completion. We have a lot of things on the back burner, so there are likely things not yet included. I will update this list weekly with new items and/or updates as I come across them. Zones. Grizzlied Peaks. A level 40 to 50 mountainous region with a number of interconnected tunnels. It is accessed via the Highlands, Red Shore, and the Gorge. It may or may not have a one-way exit to North. It still says North New Haven. It may or may not have a one-way exit to Northreach. This is the snow-capped mountains that you can see from Red Shore. Highlands, level 30 to 40. A hilly region with sparse vegetation and water features accessed via meadowlands. The Gorge, another level 30 to 40 zone, large canyon-like area accessed via Dryfoot. And as you can see, he's crossed out things that have been done rather than just deleting them. And I like that because so you can see the, evidence of things actually getting done. Let's see, that was New Haven City. That's been added. North New Haven Dungeon, that's been added. 2 Meadowlands dungeons have been added. The Red Shore Ridge has been added. Which, notice here, Red Shore Ridge is listed as a dungeon. That's because it is an overland dungeon. It is technically a zone, but it's part of Red Shore. Therefore, it's an overland dungeon, sort of like the Stronghold. And if it keeps with, which I assume it is going to, I haven't been there yet, I am not that high of a level. It will be a very long time before I get there. But assuming that it keeps with the sort of criteria for a dungeon in this game, I use that with quotes. It needs to be part of another zone and also have 2 entrances / exits. They do not necessarily need to be entrances and exits that you load into. For example, Meadowlands Spider / Wolf Cave. It has the Wolf Cave side, an entrance and an exit, and the other side, on the other side of the spiders, an entrance and an exit. You don't have to click on them, but they are very clear entrances and exits. You know it's a doorway when you see it, it leads to something. It looks like a doorway. Anyways, I digress. Meadowlands Static Dungeon number 3. Dryfoot Fortress, Red Shore Underground Dungeon, and the Grizzlied Region Connectors. So the region connectors will be dungeons, it seems like. This kind of reminds me of like in Dragon Age, when you would sometimes have an encounter in between traveling between cities. It's kind of what that gives me vibes of, thinking about region connectors being dungeons. Which is, honestly, that's pretty cool. NPCs. Let's see. Ashen Creatures, done. Quest system, done. Mob leashing updates, done. Giant turtles, done. Miscellaneous NPC behavior improvements, still a work in progress. I have a feeling that will always be a work in progress, right? Like, they'll keep improving on it and stuff, but there will always be things to improve, right? So, UI. Tooltip improvements and fixes, done. Although, personally, I would say they still could use some improvements, but they are much better than they were before, so I'll take it. Let's see, done. Quest log, that's done. Icons getting stuck in the box, that's done. A component only bag, crafting bag, done. Linking items in chat, that has been completed this week. So you see how he marked it complete and highlighted it because it's been done this week. And next week, I'm sure he'll cross it out. Map UI needs zoom, pan, and resize. I'm honestly kind of surprised that that's even on the list. Art and environment, done. Scale armor, done. Croc armor, done. NPC navigation improvements, done. A load of new weapons and visuals, done. NPC sound effects needs another pass to normalize volume levels. That still needs to be done. Let's see, tech and design. Weather system is in the initial phase. This requires some shader fixes from Unity before we can roll out rain and snow, both of which will take a decent amount of work to properly mask the environment and props. So we will be getting weather, but it's probably going to be a while, like a long while before we see that. But it is being worked on, and we will get weather to go along with our seasons. So that's really cool. Let's see, revisiting discoveries and points of interest, done. Spawn controller improvements, done. One-way dungeon exit points, done. Complete. Allow for sending item links via chat. Again, this one was completed this week, so it's highlighted as complete. We're looking into improving how repair costs are calculated to mitigate repair costs at higher levels. Still some work left to do, but just wanted you to know that we are working on it. That would be great. No, thankfully for me, I'm not really high level and I don't have too crazy repair costs yet. I mean, they're pretty high, but not like insane. Like, hopefully it gets fixed before I get there. That'd be great. Crafting updates. Quality determines the final durability. Done. More organized recipe merchants. Just let me at it. I'll organize it, okay? I'll do it. Harvesting specializations. These will likely yield larger gathers and or refines for specific materials. Cannot wait for that. That is going to be amazing. Crafting profession revamp. The current 3 professions will be split. Yeah, that's done. Gathering tool visuals. Done. Profession specific crafting quests. Can't wait for those either. That's going to be so great. I like that sort of thing. Class specific, craft specific quest lines, you know. And you know, I was actually just saying the other day, I would really like to see some class like epic class quests, or even just more variety, more options in the quests that we already have. Because right now as it is, there's, you know, everyone having the same exact quests kind of makes questing a little annoying. Because when you have a quest that tells you to go to this place and, you know, kill this thing, that's the same thing that everyone else is already doing. So if we had more variety and, you know, and class specific quests, that would sort of help distribute the players around, right? So then not everybody would be hunting for fucking croc teeth or bat ears, you know, at the same time. Because that gets really old really fast. Anyways, I digress again. In progress. Ember Essence System. I'm pretty sure this is going to say in progress in bold like this for forever. Because it's always going to be being improved upon and added to and stuff, right? Ember Essence System. This will allow you to collect Ember Essence whose value is capped to encourage spending and prevent hoarding. Allow for reagent upgrades. This includes updated reagent power, additional tacked on abilities with additional visual effects. That's going to be really cool. Monolith teleportation, done. The Hearthstone-esque ability was scrapped and replaced with egress points. Though it says it has mostly been replaced with egress points. So we may still see some additional teleporting sort of things in the future. Still in discussion, may or may not happen. Interzone group summon ability that will cost Ember Essence. Okay, that is the patch notes and the works in progress. Alright, and that's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go down in the description and check out the wiki and all of the other links that I have down there. And I really hope to see you in game.